Hi everybody, welcome to my April wrap-up, where nothing went as planned. I should preface this wrap-up by saying April is an extremely busy month for me, and I set my standards way too high for myself as far as reading goes this month. I'm a teacher, as a lot of you know, and this is just like the busiest time of year because we're getting to the end of the school year and we're wrapping things up, and I've had like no time at all. And also on top of that, I'm auditioning for an orchestra job position in a couple weeks, and so suddenly I found all of my free time going to practicing, which I didn't anticipate either, but that's basically what happened. I have read a little bit, but most of my free time has gone to practicing flute instead of reading, which is fine because I have seasons like that where that's going to happen, just like we all do. But yeah, it made me a little bit sad as far as reading goes. Nonetheless, I did get through 3.5 books. We're going to say 3.5 for now, and you'll see what I mean. But let's jump into it, shall we? So my goal this month was to participate in the Magical Readathon. This is a super popular readathon that's been going around and has a lot of people participating. You've probably heard of it, but it's basically a Harry Potter readathon. And I decided for my career I was going to be a magizoologist, and I still can't pronounce that. And it had 4 prompts, which I had thought I was going to be able to do. So I almost did it. Just not in the way that I had planned. So the first book that I picked up this month was actually completely unplanned as well, but it was a book for a book club through my church, and so it's actually a Christian book. So this is Help Thanks Wow by Lamott. This is a short book, so it took me very little time to get through. I also did the audiobook for this, which I think I would have rather have just read the physical copy if I had time to, rather than do the audiobook. I really only do audiobooks when I'm super busy, like this month, and I don't really focus on audiobooks very well. There's something about being read to where I mostly space out a lot of the time. So whenever I do an audiobook, I always have a less than stellar experience. I think just because my own brain does not focus on being read to. I don't process things that well that way. However, I did really enjoy this. It wasn't that hard to follow on audio either. It's read by the narrator herself, which she has a little bit of kind of a little bit of an annoying grating voice, and I don't want to sound mean. She's just an elderly woman, and she has that like elderly woman voice, if you know what I mean. I'm offending all the elderly women in the world right now, but it's just, I would have liked it to be narrated by someone else. I'm sorry. However, I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. This is basically kind of how to simplify your prayer life, and just the 3 main things that are important when you're praying, which is help, thanks, and wow, right? Those are the 3 things that you might pray to God, and to kind of have like, you know, a perspective on all of them and a balance on all of them. But what I really liked about Lamott is so a lot of Christian books can sometimes be, shall we say, kind of pretentious in tone. And this was not pretentious at all, or like looking down on anyone at all. She's very honest, and there's even like a few curse words in here, which surprised me, and I appreciated it. She's kind of just like very real in her writing and very like conversational, and it's just very easy to read, very easy to understand, and a great message. And I wouldn't say that this like is not a book that like changed my life or anything, but it was good. It had some good reminders in it for me. You know, it was nothing that I didn't like know already. I really want to pick up more by Lamott because I really liked her style. As far as I know, I think it's hard to like really be fantastic in a short book sometimes, especially with like kind of devotional Christian books. So I usually like mine with a little more beef to them. So I give it 4 stars. I had not a lot to complain about. It was pretty good. The prompt that this fulfilled for the readathon was to read an adult book. So there you go. That was my adult book. The next book that I read was Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis. I am making my way through the Chronicles of Narnia this year, and I'm right on track. It is the 4th month of the year, and I'm on the 4th book. And so, still having a good time with this. Again, I did the audio, and it's just not my favorite way to read. And I think I missed a little bit of information going through it because I think I was driving and not paying attention some of the time. But it was good. I gave this 4 stars as well. This fulfilled the prompt for the readathon of reading a sequel. So this was my sequel for that. In Prince Caspian, we revisit some beloved characters in the series. We revisit the 4 children who we start out with in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, who is Susan, Peter, Edmund, and Lucy. Almost forgot their names for a second. So the 4 children are pulled back into the world of Narnia. To them, only a year has gone by when they're in England, but when they come back to Narnia, hundreds, maybe thousands of years have gone by, and Narnia is a very different place. In fact, a lot of it is like abandoned and overgrown, and their castle where they were kings and queens is totally like in ruins now. It's in got a forest growing over it basically. So things are much different now when they return. There's an evil king that has kind of taken over the realm, and there's this Prince Caspian who is a character who we meet a little bit in a backwards, strange way. We meet him by a dwarf actually telling stories about Prince Caspian, and then the 4 children realize they're there so that they can help Prince Caspian because he's the true king of Narnia and he should be king. So they get there, they learn that, and then from there they try to figure out, how are we going to make this happen? How do we defeat the evil king? Miraz, I think is his name. I really like the premise of this, although I was a little bit sad that we are kind of put in a different time, because I kind of missed some of the other characters. There's some characters that were completely written out from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It would have been maybe nice to come back to a little bit of a sooner time and see those characters again, but that's okay, because I think C.S. Lewis just wanted to do something completely different with them when they came back to Narnia. I feel like this one was a little more complicated plot-wise, and I'm kind of surprised that this would be a children's series, because I don't feel like at this point the child will really understand everything that's happening. And I know that's just kind of a little bit of an issue with these. And I remember now as a kid reading these and not totally understanding what was going on. Whereas now as an adult I can grasp them better. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking like, it's kind of strange for a kid's series. They're suddenly becoming a lot more complicated, a little bit more adult. That's kind of my only criticism. I still love the story. I love the characters. I will love Narnia till the day I die. So that book fulfilled my sequel requirement for the readathon. Alright, so next I kind of, this may be cheating a little bit, but I realized that I was not going to get through any of the other books this month completely that I wanted to, and I needed a book with a land animal on it. So I went to Barnes & Noble, and I got this one. A Sloth's Guide to Taking It Easy. Be more sloth with these fail-safe tips for serious chilling. And this is not even, okay, it's not even a book. I don't think I can consider it a book. But you know what? It is a book, and I'm going to count it. It counts. But this is not what I was planning to pick up, but this is by Sarah Jackson, and it's just like cute little silly sketches on a sloth teaching you how to relax and how to take it easy. So we follow our sloth named Brian, that's Brian, and he gives you different little tips on how to take it easy and slow down and relax. So one of them is eat healthily, and you can see he's got a little bug there. And use positivity mantras, tell yourself nice things, spend time with like-minded people, and so on and so forth. So it's actually, there's some cute little tips in here, and some that are, you know, really actually good tips, but mostly it's a book for fun and to be cute, and it is cute. So that was my book with a land animal on the cover, and that took no time at all to read, but you know what? It counts. And I don't really know how to rate this. Maybe 4 stars, 5 stars. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just a silly little book that you might give to someone as a gift. So actually I'll probably give it away now. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. Now here's the book that kind of slowed me down, and I know I'm not going to finish it, but this is my book with a plant on the cover. See, got plants somewhere. Oh yeah, there, kind of. So this was another book I was planning on getting through this month. I actually wanted to get through it last month, but didn't make that happen either. I am not even halfway through this. I'm almost halfway though. I'm not too far in, but what page? Page 336 out of an 848 page book. So we got some progress to make on this, but The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a super hyped book right now. Everyone's reading it, everyone and their mother. This is all over the place. So you've probably seen it before, but I'm really liking it. I wish I had a little more brain power to focus on it right now, but I'm just moving through it much slower than I would like to because I have so many things going on. And reading a high fantasy when I have like so many life things happening, this is maybe not the best time for me to pick up something like this, but I'm gonna plug along and, you know, maybe I'll finish it in the next like couple weeks. We'll see. I'm not a fast reader. As you might have noticed from my channel, I only read like maybe 4 to 5 books a month. 6 books is like an amazing reading month for me. I just don't read all the time in my life. I wish I could read more, and I'm amazed by people who can read like 13, 14, 15 books in a month. That has never been me. I'm just not that fast of a reader. And I also like to take my time with things. This book in particular, you have to take your time with, I think. But I'm really liking this so far. This follows a kingdom in which there are dragons. There's definitely a strong presence of dragons happening, but not all of the kingdoms really see dragons the same way. So some dragons are seen as benevolent and they work with the humans in some kingdoms, and then in other kingdoms there's this like terrible dragons are evil kind of mentality towards them, and they hate dragons. And from what I understand, there's like different types of dragons. So there are some evil dragons who are actually evil, but also the kingdoms have really interpreted dragons and their place in society in drastically different ways depending on what has happened. Every chapter kind of goes between either the Western Kingdom or the Eastern Kingdom. There's also some South and North a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's mostly between the West and the East. So the Western Kingdom is the one in which they are extremely religious, and there is this like one evil thing that happened. They're trying to keep a certain queen with a certain lineage on the throne. Their belief is that if that lineage dies, then this terrible thing is going to happen. And I won't tell you what that thing is, but a terrible thing's going to happen. And so their whole goal in their kingdom is to keep a queen on the throne from the house of Berethna, I think is how you say it. And then we also follow the Eastern Kingdom, and the Eastern Kingdom has dragon riders, which is like the best thing ever, and it's humans riding dragons and like human and dragon being together and battling together. I really like the Eastern side. I like the Western side, but the Western side is a lot more political. We're always like talking about politics and stuff. We are a little bit in the East too, but the West is like where all the political things are happening. This is a very slow moving book. I would say I kind of expected it to be a tad bit more fast paced. The first like 150 pages I found really slow going, a little bit hard to engage with, but about 200 pages in, things start to happen, things start to get interesting, and things start to come together. So with all the different perspectives, I'm finding that I definitely like some perspectives more than others, but I also like bits and pieces of all of them. So I am enjoying this. I think there's a lot. It's a little bit info dumpy. I do feel like we're just like given a lot of information at once, but the world building is amazing. This world is humongous. It's so vast in scope, and it really takes time to like chew on everything and really understand how everything is working and how everything comes together. So I am really liking it so far. I struggle a little bit also with the writing style because there's just some weird like turns of phrases and word choices that Samantha Shannon uses. Particularly what throws me off a little bit is when she uses things to describe other things that like have nothing to do with it. Like for example, there was one part that I remember that she just was described as she woke up and her eyes were raw. That just doesn't really, I mean, I guess I know what you're saying, but like your eyes can't be raw. There's probably better ways to describe that. So there's just some little annoying things here and there that I'm like, maybe not the best descriptive writing, maybe not the best way to do that, but I will say mostly the writing doesn't bother me, and I can get past those things. They're just like little things here and there that make you stop and go, you're just trying too hard. But at the point in the book where I am now, things are picking up, things are getting more heated, things are interesting. I love the world. It's so cool. It really is. So I think it's definitely worth the hype, but it's not the most perfect book in the world, but it's worth the hype. But I better finish it, before I talk about it first. So I can't wrap this one up yet. We're gonna work on it. So there you have it. I almost completed the readathon. I actually have still a few more days in April left, so maybe I'll surprise myself. Who knows, but we'll see. Maybe I can finish it. No, I probably can't. Those were all the books that I read in the month of April. Let me know if you have read any of these or if you're interested in any of these. One of these things is not like the other. I'm seeing very clearly. So, is there any wonder why I didn't finish this one? This guy is huge! Thank you for watching, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And I try to post videos every week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.